welcome to the channel. In this video I'll be sharing tips on what documents you need to prepare for your defense. So I'll be talking about what documents to prepare for your defense. So who am I? I'm David. I was arrested for a criminal offence and I was on bail for 3 years before the case against me was dropped in a Crown Court in the UK. Check out my other videos for further information. The usual disclaimer: I'm not a legal professional and the thoughts, advice and reflections herein are my own as a layperson. I recommend you get advice from a properly qualified legal professional. Okay, so this is a continuation from the first video, so I'll carry on with the points. Please see the previous video for the introduction and the first handful of points. Document 12. So this is a list of questions that you want the police to be asked in a courtroom. You will know your case backwards better than anybody else, better than your solicitor, better than your barrister. So you will know the questions, the weaknesses that the police have, and you will know the questions that you want the police to answer, because they won't be giving you answers during the investigation. They will withhold information. So write down the questions, draft questions as a prompt for your barrister. He or she will not, of course, ask them or have to ask them, but it will at least give you some peace of mind that you've put it in front of your legal team, and it will show the barrister what is going on in your head. Document 13. Questions again. So provide your own list of questions to be asked in a courtroom for the witnesses for the prosecution. So they might be lay people, ordinary individuals, or they might be the computer expert, a science expert, or an eyewitness that you don't know. Again, list everything that you think would be a good question to ask, because it might not occur to the barrister or the solicitor. It'll help them. It's a head start. It's a prompt for them. Document 14. Questions, more questions. So provide your own list of questions to be asked in a courtroom for the defence witnesses, i.e. people supporting you, because you want all the information to be drawn out of them to support your case. So again, provide your barrister with a list of all the questions that he or she should ask to solicit all the information that you need to be produced in that courtroom. Document 15. So these are the weaknesses in the prosecution case as you see them. So just list the weaknesses in the case and how they can be exploited for your benefit. Document 16, again, the strengths of the defence. So this is a list of how they can be emphasised. These are the things that are rock solid and you think are central to your defence. They might be summarised perhaps in strength order, in priority. Document 17, so like you've done the document 17, so you've been working on the strength of your defence, you should in fairness do a list of the weaknesses in your defence, but also how they might be addressed by seeking further evidence or involving another defence witness. So be honest. So again, the barrister isn't caught on the hop, so they are aware you're giving them all the information, even the weaknesses that you have in your own case, for possibly perfectly legitimate reasons. Document 18, again, similarly, the strength of the prosecution case, so what makes it difficult and how they can be put into context and how they might be undermined by your defence team in a courtroom. Document 19, electronic evidence. So these are DVDs, these are emails, these are social media things, all the technical information that can be listed in one place and that might be reviewed by your defence expert or could be checked and confirmed as legitimate and rock solid evidence for your case. But all the electronic evidence would be useful. That might be CCTV, anything like that. And document 20. So this is a review of the police statement. So you will eventually receive a statement from the arresting officer and or the investigating police officer. Go through it line by line and agree with the points that you agree with and list those points that you disagree with and explain why. The police officer's witness statement will be biased. It will include what the officer wants to include and exclude what the officer does not want in that report. So you need to report on both what's there and what's not there. So for instance, state that the police officer didn't report a conversation that you had when you were first stopped or when they first visited. When I was arrested, as an example, when I was arrested, I was appalled and angry that the arresting officer did not report in their witness statement the conversation that I had with the police officer about the housemates, who I suspected of being responsible for the offence for which I was being arrested. And also, the police officer took comments I made out of context and presented them as if I was making some sort of admission. So you've got to be very careful. It's a word of warning. Be careful and tear into the detail of that police officer statement. Document 21. Now this is similar to the previous document. So this is a review, a commentary on the police interview. So you'll be interviewed and there'll be a transcript typed up of that interview of all the questions that you've been asked. So go through that transcript of the police interview, reporting on and commenting on all the questions. It might well be the case that you were told to reply no comment to all the questions asked of you, and that's fine. But when you're preparing the document for your legal team, you should list an answer to all those questions that you were asked in that interview and comment on them. So don't just reply, but explain the background why. In that interview, the police will try to ask questions that will try to implicate you and provoke you. And they will do this not only for their own benefit, but also for the tape, knowing that the transcript of the tape will be available to the court and for the trial. So comment on everything as you see fit, anything. So during my interview, for instance, one officer said, for the tape, no doubt, "Why are you laughing?" So in my commentary for the solicitor and the police, because it was a serious matter, I explained I had not been laughing. I was beginning to relax in the interview, and I explained that perhaps I was just smiling as I relaxed, as it became clear that the evidence being presented, or so-called evidence being presented in the interview, arguably implicated my housemates rather than me. So again, comment on anything, not only the questions they asked, but also the hubbub around it. Document 22. So similar to document 21. So this is a review, a commentary on any witness statement, and do the same for all the witness statements. Explain what is correct, but also say what is incorrect, and try and support it and cross-reference it to any evidence that you might have listed in your other documents. Not only comment on what is in there, but comment on what is omitted, so what is not included in that document, because that might have been done on purpose to implicate you. Document 23. So this is an opening statement in your case, in your trial. This summarizes the case and sets the tone. Now, of course, the barrister will do this and draft this, but I think there's no harm in drafting an opening statement which lists the case and the important points in your case for the barrister to look over. Just bullet points, how long it's taken, what's happened, so they have an idea of what's going on in your head. Barristers are preparing cases for all sorts of cases at any one time, so you want to help them as much as you can. This is document 24, the closing statement. So you've done the opening statement, this is the closing statement. So this is, again, it's very similar. This closes the case and sets the tone for the jury consideration. So list the items you would like the jury to consider. So you can put into place, into context, those things that you think are important and that are crucial for your defence. Document 25. So this is a summary document, an executive summary, if you like, summarising all the main bits of your case. Now this can just be a few pages long. It might be the first document that your legal team, your barrister, would read. It's a summary. It covers the offence, your views on it, your response to the witnesses, their statements, and listing the evidence, but just keep it short and simple so they can read that first and get an idea of where you're coming from. Document 26. So this is really just a contents page, and it can list the appendices of everything. So it lists all the other 25 documents, and it just gives the legal team the way to work their way through the documents. Now each document should be standalone. They can be cross-referencing because you can't assume the legal team will have everything in their head. Okay, so see part 3 for the way you should format it, or I think you should format it and present it to your legal team. Please subscribe, and if you're interested in helping me, then you can buy the books, obviously. You can find them on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. So they're titled Mad as Hell Parts 1 and 2 by David N. Anderson. But there's also, I'm setting up a Patreon account, so if you want to support me and help me try and knock out more videos, that'd be a great help. Okay, thank you.
Let's go.